Well, hello everybody. How are you doing? I'm sorry it took us a little while to get on here. The internet was not playing friendly with us today, but we got it going without any issues now. So here we are. Look at all these beautiful faces. So I am going to start off by saying hello to the Yarnspriations Facebook page. And my name is Marley Bird. I'm one of the Stitch ambassadors for Yarnspriations. And today I am here to talk with a lot of my friends who are knitters, crocheters, designers, entrepreneurs, former magazine editors, YouTube instructors. I mean, you name it, we have the full gamut. We have crochet professionals that were on TV, who are on TV. I mean, how amazing this group is. I can't even begin. So first off, I'm going to get on my Facebook here so that way I can be sure to answer any questions. And all of you, if you have a computer in front of you and you're able to get on the Yarnspirations Facebook page to get some of the questions, like any that I might miss, I encourage you to do so right now as well. That'll give us a chance to do that as everything works up on my end. All I keep thinking is, please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash. Please don't crash as I hit play and try and see all of this. So many people are already here coming to check in. So very cool. We do have a couple moderators here to help us out with any questions that we might get throughout the show today, because it's not really a show, the broadcast. I want to call it a podcast because it's habit, but yeah, it's the best part about this is this is like my favorite group chat of all my favorite people. Like, this is just so wonderful. So I want everybody else to be as excited as I am. So I want them to be able to put a name with your beautiful faces. So I don't know if your chop-op screen is the same as mine, but I'm going to point out to Nadia first. I'm going to have Nadia wave and say hello and tell you who she is and all that good stuff.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Nadia from Yarn Utopia. I teach how to crochet through YouTube videos, and I have my website, yarnutopia.com, and I am crocheting right now using blanket yarn.
That is so cool. I love it. I'm crocheting something right now too, but I'm using Burnout Pop.
Awesome.
And it can stand on its own. It's because it's going to be a blanket or not a blanket, a basket.
Aww. Very cool.
All right. So then I'm going to go to Salena Baca. You're on mute, my friend. You're doing exactly what I did.
I muted myself because I had too many screens going and there was noise. And so anyway, that's me and technology. We're BFFs. No, I'm Salena Baca. I'm the founder, host, lead educator with the American Crochet Association. And I like to crochet. It's my jam. It's my day job. It's what I do all day, every day. And I am currently working with Hemster, but I can't show you what I'm working on.
Oh, in true designer fashion, I can't show you.
I can't show you.
She's such
That's
a
right.
tease.
I am.
All right, so we are going to go to my other really good friend, Ron Strong, and we're going to say hello to Ron and see what he has cooking over there.
Hello, friends. I'm Ron Strong. I am a crochet designer mostly, and I knit and I quilt and I do all that, and I teach on YouTube, and I'm on Knit and Crochet Now. We're on season, I don't even know at this point. We're on double digits. So yeah, I do that. I'm working on this swatch. It was a swatch, but I'm just going right now. So we'll see how it looks. I don't know. It's Red Heart Super Saver in black and it's one of those striped yarns.
One of the striped colors.
Stripe. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Polo stripe. It's polo
That's
stripe.
awesome.
I
don't know how many of you do that. Like when I'm working on a swatch, I'm like, do I keep going? Do I
Yes.
just bind it
Last
off?
night it was like the middle square. It was just a regular log cabin, and I'm like, but this is really pretty.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
And then I ordered yarn this morning because I was like, I'm going to keep going until I
love
can't
it.
anymore.
I love it. I can so relate to that. I'm going to transfer over to Ellen Gormley. Ellen, one of my dearest,
Hey.
best friends ever. So Ellen, let's tell them a little bit about you.
Hi there, I'm Ellen Gormley, and I used to be on Knit and Crochet Now with Ron and Robin, and I was the editor of Crochet Magazine for a few years. Now you can find me on YouTube at Ellen Gormley and ellengormley.com, and I have a new book, one skein crochet out with interweave right now.
Oh my gosh. Guys, Ellen, she does so many different things. She's just fantastic. And I love it. You're like one of the most genuinely kind people I've ever met in my life.
Thank you.
It's
I love
fantastic.
people. I love people. And hi to all my people from YouTube. Hello.
Very cool. All right, so I'm going to jump to Carolyn, who she's seriously, I know I keep saying everybody's one of my favorite people. Carolyn is one of my favorite people ever in the whole world. I had the delight of meeting her. Has it been like 3 years now? Maybe
it's longer than that.
Longer than that? I mean, I don't know. It just, she's like, it's longer than that.
It goes by so fast.
But she's pretty fantastic. So I want her to tell all of you about her.
Hi, I'm Carolyn, and my website is thepurpleponcho.com. I have a YouTube channel, and I've been focusing mainly lately on Tunisian crochet. I really love doing Tunisian lately. So if you're into that, you can check me out on YouTube. And right now I'm working with Unforgettable, and I'm doing hairpin lace.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Hairpin lace and Unforgettable are like a match made in heaven because it just comes out so beautifully.
I have some strips here.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Tunisian, you're totally having the ears perk up of Robin Chichula, one of my very best friends, who makes fun of me. And whenever I say, hey, we got to design something, she goes, okay, I have this perfect Tunisian project. And I'm like, stop. I don't do a Tunisian, but she is bound and determined to get me started on it. So hello, Robin.
Hey, Marley. I apologize. All that we do is laugh when we get together.
That's
That's
true.
So, for anybody who doesn't know me, hi, I'm Robin. So yes, I kind of do it all at this stage in the game. I'm a designer, editor, graphic designer, secret collaborator with Marley. We have lots of secret stuff going on. And yeah, one of my favorite things was getting to be on the TV show with those two down there. Fantastic. But I pretty much like doing anything with crochet and telling everybody about it. In live, not live, I don't care. I've been doing a lot of teaching with stitches lately. I just like crocheting with other people. It's just fantastic.
That's great. And that's the perfect transition to all of this, because the whole theme behind the Yarnspriations Stitched Together is really trying to bring together community and have us all, connect in some way, especially during this time in our lives that is so unprecedented. This is just weird. I mean, I know that for myself, I'm brace yourselves, I'm an extrovert. And so I know it is shocking. So being at home for these many, many weeks without literally like connection with somebody outside of my family has been extremely difficult. And as much as I've relied on social media in the past to feed my extrovertness, whatever, it's just not cutting it to the level that I need it to right now. Does that make sense? Yeah. Which is interesting. In a time when we're all so connected through social media, I can still feel so disconnected. But at the same time, there's this little craft called knitting and crochet that helps me feel connected once again with other people. So it's almost like in the mass talk of it all, I feel so like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of lost. And then I find my people and I'm like, here I am, I'm at home. Do any of you feel this way too?
This is my Friday night. Like, this is like the most excitement I've had in weeks, is being with you all. And I'm so grateful to be here. It's also probably the first time I've had lipstick on in, 6 weeks or so. But I totally agree that knit and crochet like brings people together, and we're from all different parts of the country, and we only get to see each other occasionally at conferences and stuff anyway. So this is really a treat to be together. Thank you, Marley, for inviting me and having us together, because this is just the Super Bowl of crafting right here in this space.
So cool. How about everybody else? Tell me what are you feeling? How are you coping with it?
It's been tough.
Well, for me, it's not any different. I'm home all the time anyway now, so. Other than just going to the grocery store or something like that, which makes it a little bit more difficult now with the mask and all that. But other than that, it's the same for me. I'm home all day. My family's here, so
That's
I'm
cool.
lucky. I haven't had much change.
That reminds me of the meme going around where somebody said something like, I didn't realize my everyday life was called social distancing. Like,
Exactly. That's me.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, wow, that's really interesting. So Nadia, for you, I mean, you are still, I would still consider you a newlywed. You're a new mom. You have all of this stuff going on. I mean, how are you coping with it all?
Yeah, I kind of am in the same boat as Carolyn. Like, my life hasn't really changed drastically. There are some changes since the whole pandemic has been going down. Before, there were more cases in my community. My husband and I, we were planning our anniversary trip. Actually, we're going to go to Colorado. Yeah, your old stomping grounds. But I ended up having to cancel the trip because things started like getting pretty terrifying, pretty scary. And then more and more cases started happening in our city and in our state, and things were shutting down very quickly. And it was just a fluid situation, so we didn't really know what was going to happen day to day. And that kind of got me a little down. I guess I was really glued to the news and the media, and it made me feel more down than anything. And so I'm really grateful to have this craft, this crochet, and my family here with me. My husband ended up taking off of work voluntarily so that he could keep me and my son safe without having to go out and potentially bring it home, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So he took off work, so I'm here with my family, and it's great having his help all day with Nasser, my son. And yeah, we're doing other crafts as well, other house projects. We landscaped our backyard, so we've been keeping busy in other ways as well.
That's great. How many people have made bread so far?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I made banana nut bread, but yeah, I wasn't.
Oh, well, I mean, I make banana cake, but that's not like, I make
Girl.
all the cakes, but bread.
She's like,
I'm
I
not
see
buying
your bread and I
making
raise you to a cake.
I just make the cake.
She's like, whatever. Ellen's like, you've got my interest now. It's like, all of a sudden, I need to know where Salena lives.
Yeah.
Oh, I make all the cakes.
Oh.
So, Salena, you are actually, you are on the West Coast. Carolyn's on the West Coast too, but you are up in the Oregon area, Bend, Oregon. But obviously, when the pandemic really started here in America, it was a really big interest in Washington and New York. Being so close over there to Washington and stuff, I mean, how, talk to me about it. I mean, I'm just curious, did it affect you in any particular way? And then how have you tried to use the internet more to connect with your audience? Because your audience is fantastic. I mean, they're just amazing people.
Well, the crochet community is just a fantastic community. So that's been a blessing just kind of in itself. I'm going to answer your questions in reverse.
No, you're fine. You're good.
Yeah. So I am also an extrovert. I also love to chat with people. I love videos. So that's always been like the backbone of everything that I've done in the crochet world. You could, if I can talk to people and there's video involved, like I will just go at it all day. I absolutely love it. So I feel very fortunate that, my work life has changed very little. If anything, like I'm just doing more of the things that I love to do, in my Facebook groups and on my pages. Like I've just been trying to have meaningful conversations with people. Because, more people are sitting at home, more people do need things to do, and they do want connection. They want to connect with people on things that they enjoy, that bring them joy. And so that's something that I need, but it's also something that I feel is adding value to people's lives every day. So that's been interesting. But it wasn't that easy transition for me at first. When this pandemic really kind of hit our area for like the first 2 weeks, I was literally like pajamas and no showers for like 2 weeks, just kind of like, because I've got a kid and I've got a husband and I'm like, I don't know what to do with life anymore. I'm used to being at home and I'm used to not really going anywhere. Like I've been preparing for this, I'm like yoga pants and, messy mom hair all day. But, you know, there was a shift in, you cannot leave your house, you know, and I know that, you know, we can leave our house, but you know, you cannot leave your house. And that was a weird mental shift for us, more so in that, like, what does this mean? Like, what is the world like out there? What's going on with other people? So that was a weird mental shift for us.
Right.
But my son's 10, and you're right, this hit Washington really, really hard, and it was rapidly, you know, just getting out of control in the Washington area. And then when it started trickling down to Portland, my son was like, he was really kind of, I want to say traumatized. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like, he had nightmares one night, and he woke up like 3 times because he was terrified that, like, just, this is it. This is the end.
Yeah.
And, but he's, you know, he's a little high strung like that. And luckily that was about 3 days before the schools were shut down in this area. So I was really glad that the schools were shut down, because I'm like, I'm gonna have to homeschool this kid. I don't know what else to do. So that's what I mean by, like, the first 2 weeks were just assuring him, we're fine. We're going to stay at home. Like, everything's fine. Look, we can order food and they bring it to our door. Isn't that fun? Like, we can stay up late and watch TV. So it was just kind of readjusting to that.
And if I remember correctly, you started showing him how to crochet and stuff too.
I did. Yeah. No, I started trying to teach him again. You know, he's 10. So I've been trying to teach him since, you know, he could hold 2 things in his hands and, you know, try to do something constructive with them. But he's still kind of like a wild animal, in that he's like, yay, I will sit for 5 minutes, and if I don't magically make a sweater, then I'm just done with this.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have the patience to kind of stick with it. But
I know other crocheters like that too, so it's all right. He's in good company. I mean, amen. Can I get an amen?
He's on the 10-year plan currently.
I get you.
In 10 years, maybe he'll have a swatch.
So Ron, I know that through this, I've always enjoyed your like Instagram stories and some of the stuff you've done, but I feel like you've pumped it up just a little bit more, but in a good way. Like, I feel like, oh, there's my friend Ron. I'm going to up to today, you know, or what's this punch needle thing he's talking about? Or, oh my gosh, now he's starting to get into mosaic crochet. And I'm like,
okay, first of all, can we just talk about how amazing mosaic crochet is?
Amen.
Let me tell you, okay. Sorry, I get really excited.
Yeah, that's right. Do you see Robin's face? Robin's like, oh yeah, that's it. Okay, that's where it is.
First of all, let me tell you a funny story. So I love Robin, and everyone knows I love Robin. But Robin and I met the first time on the set of Knit and Crochet Now. And Ellen was there too that year. It was my very first year doing it. And I was so scared because Deborah Norville was the host, and I was like all freaking out, right? Well, Robin and I will never forget that our producer Candy had to take Robin off of set because we were laughing hysterically. And we couldn't get it together. It was awful, but it was so funny. I love Robin so much. But yeah, no, I realized really early in, because I've been quarantined now for 7 weeks. Today is 7 weeks. So I haven't left the house except for like essentials for 7 weeks. And it's been tough. Because I'm an introvert and I stay home most of the time. But I also, I go to the bookstore 2 or 3 times a week. And I go to the coffee shop all the time. And I always try to support our local businesses. And it got really tough because we've all been shut down. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. And so North Carolina took a very aggressive approach, which we were really happy with. And so it's been a good time. But with staying home and socially distancing, I live in an 800 square foot apartment, and there's nowhere to go other than the living room and to the kitchen. And one day I didn't leave my house and I counted my steps and it was 70. So we're doing it well, friends.
I can tell you a true story. I've said this on my podcast before. I bought a Fitbit. This is true, honest to God story, you guys. I bought a Fitbit, wore it one day, and I got up and I was like, this thing is not working. I walked down the hall upstairs to my room and it went tick, and I went, oh. Just did not move all day long.
I go outside a few times a day to walk Chase, my dog. And then I had to start elongating the walks because I'm like, okay, this is getting too much if I can't wear 90% of my wardrobe and I'm just wearing button-down shirts open. Because at this point, this is all that matters. If I can't wear a caftan as a man, I'm going to wear flannel open.
I think you could totally work a caftan. I think you totally could.
I
You
will
totally
bring the
could.
70s back, my friends. So one of the things I did that have made this quarantine and self-isolation so much better is just I started teaching myself new techniques.
Yes.
And it's made all of the difference because I'm one of those people that when I'm learning something, I need to learn everything about it. So on Friday, I think it was Friday, I saw an ad pop up or like an Instagram story of Marley showing how to do the crocheted I-cord on the scarf. And I was like, oh, I really love this mosaic crochet thing. Wait, I think I've done this before. I don't know. So then I spent all Friday. I spent 8 hours Friday, like 8 or 10 hours Saturday. And I couldn't get it. Like it was this weird thing where my brain wouldn't let me understand. And then in the middle of the night on Saturday night into Sunday, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what you're doing. And I just got out of bed and I immediately was just like, I have to do this because I was like, I don't like this whole 2 rows. I just want to do right side all the time.
Oh,
but
that's a different one.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, there's 3 methods for mosaic crochet. This is insane. And so then I just got really excited. So I started doing that. And then I started doing a lot of Tunisian crochet because I love it. And I've done it for so long.
You can combine the two. Ask
I
Robin.
know. Oh, I know, Robin. Come on. It's not like I don't obsessively stalk Robin's crochet. I love it. So anyway, I'm teaching myself new techniques and I'm trying my hardest to keep everything like a little bit more. If I keep my mind busy, then I don't obsess over what I'm missing. And I just keep it busy all of the time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've loved is that I've also started publishing a lot of patterns because I'm producing so many things that I'm like, okay, everybody can have it. But what I love is that the more things I'm producing, the more men and women that are emailing me telling me that like they're nurses on the front line and that my patterns are helping them to have a little bit of time to themselves when they come home. And it's motivated me to keep going and to not self-loathe about staying home because there's a lot of people that aren't home and there's a lot of people that are working really, really hard to keep all of us so incredibly safe right now. And even if I can just do my little part and make a baby sweater and show people how to make a baby sweater, then that's what I'm going to do. And I hope they love it. And
that is a great takeaway. That's like perfect. I love the idea of learning something new during a time like this. So for me, like I'll do that. Like I will get so overwhelmed with something that I'm doing. I'm like, I just got to go learn something new. Not Tunisian. Sorry guys. But I knit. This is my excuse. I'm like, why do I want to do Tunisian if I knit? So I know we can have drinks sometime. All of you can try and convince me. It's not going to work. However, I do try and teach myself something new. Like I taught myself entrelac. I taught myself mosaic crochet because I was like, this is really cool. I want to do more of it, you know? And then I roped Robin into helping me out with the Tournament of Stitches. And at first I thought you were going to say I was working 8 hours on this I-cord. And I was going to be like, oh, did you get like a corner done? Because it takes forever, right?
Let me tell you, I don't do I-cord. No,
I love it. It's so pretty. But so, I guess that leads me to this. So we all have our communities we go to. Most of us have our own Facebook groups or a group that we participate in. But what is something that either you have learned or you want to learn or something that you're looking forward to? I know that sounds kind of funny, but looking forward to during this time, whether it's producing more videos, putting together a proposal for a book, publishing your own book, doing pattern, like whatever it may be. And I'm going to start with Robin and I want to get through all of us all the way back because believe it or not, it's already been 30 minutes. Can you believe it? I know time just flies. I mean, I love talking to you guys and it looks like everybody in here, they're loving this and they have all of your sites. Somebody is saying I'm saving all of these sites. So if you guys don't know, in the video description, I've put a link to every single one of us in there so you can find us after the podcast or after the show today, or I'm sorry, podcast is on my brain. But so I'm going to start with Robin. And I know that you've got 2 little kids at home and your husband's working from home. I mean, things are crazy where you are, and the virus has hit your community pretty rough.
Yeah. So, in my takeaway is kind of different because my whole world is turned upside down. So I'm used to being all by myself while the kids are at school. And it's quiet and it's wonderful because I'm an introvert and that's my time. That's my jam. I can think, I can process, but no more. Now it's mommy, 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 or the dog's on top of me because she's annoyed because she can't sleep. It's exhausting. So for me, for work, and I've said this to Ron, I've said this to other people before, like when you get a migraine or something, when just your day is not working out, instead of being frustrated because it doesn't do you any good, I look at it as, okay, step back. So this is my step back time. This is my time to just be like, whatever creative process is happening in my world, then I'm going to work on that for the 5 minutes I get. Luckily, you know, we started our tournament of stitches before the virus hit us really hard. Thank goodness we got a huge chunk of that done. For those of you who don't know what it is Marley hosts for like an entire month, twice a day. She hosts
twice a week.
Twice a week. It's a knit version and a crochet version. They're not always the same thing, but in this one, it was like you were getting your master's degree in mosaic knitting and mosaic crochet.
Yeah.
And I mean, Marley did all the videos, and so there's like everything is step by step. There's a million different diagrams and charts and everything. So
it's crazy.
That was so wonderful because it gave a structure to my day, because my day was pretty much pandemonium. It was all of a sudden our remote learning, I'm in Pittsburgh, was nuts. It's still nuts. It's getting better, but it's been, the kids were off for 6 full weeks without school because they couldn't figure out what they were doing. And my kids can't go that long. So all of a sudden I'm teaching, which is great for everyone. I'm a really great teacher for anybody but my children, I've learned. I'm sure other people feel the same way. And then like my whole studio has been taken over by my husband because he's got to work. So he's, you know, in my space, which I love the man a lot. But it was like, okay, go away. So I've decided, instead of being like, oh man, this would be a great time, I can do this and I can do that. Well, and then putting all this pressure, instead I look at it as, well, today I want to see how I can make Tunisian mosaic crochet. That sounds like something fun. Sure.
And she did it.
I did. So I try to like just be kind with myself. And so, you know, with all of the mosaic knitting that we were doing,
yeah,
I'm like, you know what's great is just knitting and purling. Yes. And just what you can do with knits and purls, and very simple. So then a whole week I was just doing that. Yeah. And you know, now I'm doing weird Solomon's knot. I don't know, because I felt like it. I just try to take this whole time and be, for however long it's going to be, this is just my rejuvenation, you know? And then I can throw this later because life is long. I always say that. Life is long. And so I can throw this into a class, I could throw it into a pattern, I could throw it into a book, whatever I want to do, but just be kind.
Love that. That's perfect. Rejuvenation time. Ellen, how about you?
Yeah, I have a similar approach. Like, I'm working from home. I work a full-time job now too. So I don't have to commute. So luckily I get to sleep in a little bit. And so that has allowed me to do a little bit more crochet than usual. I've been really focusing on the relaxing aspects of crochet. And so really giving my YouTube community a lot more patterns that are more rhythmic and almost mindless and meditative, because this is a challenging time for a lot of people. And I was really discouraged at the first outset of the stay-at-home order, where people were like, oh, you know, get in shape and learn a language and learn this and do that. I'm like, dude, I just want to like take a shower and like not feel bad. I mean, because a lot of people are now working from home. I'm working from home 3 meals a day, cleaning up after 3 meals a day, letting the dog out. Like he really needs to go out that many times, you know, so it's a lot. And then to throw in, hey, learn this new skill and get in shape and bake bread and be your best self. It's like, it's too much. And it's really just fine to take good care of your home people and try and take care of others in the community when you have to go out, but take care of your home people as best you can. So I've really been pumping as much content onto my YouTube channel as possible to keep them company, and they're keeping me company.
That's
so
perfect.
This is the way that I'm trying to take care of my community in addition to take care for myself and my family.
I love that, because it's not only when it comes to YouTube, and I know Nadia can probably speak to this as well because she does a lot of YouTube, and so does Carolyn, but it's not just the videos part. Like there's the live part. Now they have the new community post part that you can do. And it's always interesting to me that there are people who literally will only go to video and they'll never approach my blog. They don't even have a membership to Facebook's. They never see anything there. They only see YouTube. And so here, if I'm only posting YouTube once a week, they're only hearing from me once a week. And, you know, some people might argue that's enough. And others might say, well, no, I need more. I need more of you. And I'm like, yes, I've got more to give. So I should give more. But at the same time, I feel like I'm putting total pressure on myself of I gotta do. And sometimes I'm just like, whew, I gotta breathe, you know? And so it's a little tricky. So I love that you're doing that for your YouTube community. Nadia, I'm gonna jump to you and ask you same question.
Yeah, I actually, going off what Robin said and Ellen too, that really just taking time to like do a lot of self-care during this time and being kind to ourselves is very important. But the big thing I have to say before I get into like what I've been doing during this time is I have to say a huge thank you to the community, to the crochet community, to everybody who is here hanging out with us. And every day, I have the Yarn Utopia World group, and then I have the page and I have the YouTube channel. Like there, like you said, there's different people and different audiences and different platforms. And in my Yarn Utopia World group on Facebook, we do like monthly events where we'll all like get together and just like crochet over a whole weekend. Just last month we did a stash buster weekend because there were like yarn stores closing and we can't access yarn. So well, let's just use what we have in our stash. And so I did a stash buster weekend where we just made random scrappy yarn projects together, and we did games and we did games, and it's all virtual. So we all are at home. So that's a lot of fun. But during this time, learning something new. I'm actually trying to try new stitches and make crochet tutorials for the YouTube channel. I've been trying to film myself. My dad is my videographer, so I've been trying to film myself, and I never do it as well as he does. So I definitely envy those who can film themselves and teach at the same time like you, because it's definitely a lot of work.
It's tricky, right? It's all tricky. I love it.
Trying to keep it in the frame and watching the frame and your hands, it's like, oh my God, a whole separate thing. So I really am grateful for my dad for filming all of our tutorials. But during this time, I've also been cooking more and baking more, making all the bread.
All the bread.
My mom has been getting into puzzles, so she got me into putting together puzzles during this time. And I have an adult coloring book. I've been kind of doing that. That kind of feels like relaxing too, like crochet. Coloring, I've noticed like I have the same calming feeling when I color too. So it's awesome. And just kind of getting creative with the crochet, with crafting. I use my son a lot, Nasser, and I have like old projects that I've already made and already posted on the blog and on YouTube, but then I'll dig them out of my finished projects closet, and I'll be like retake photos and kind of update them. And bring them back to life, because
I think that's brilliant.
Once you post something, it's kind of just on the internet and it's sometimes forgotten when you post it 2 years ago or something. So I take it out and I retake a photo and like update the blog, and then it's kind of like new again. So
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I think that's perfect. Carolyn, I'm going to jump down to you, my lovely friend. How about you? What are some things that you're doing or learning, or how are you approaching that?
Well, one fun thing that my daughter and I did together is we made these handmade soaps.
Oh, cool. Hold on, I'm going to make it so it's...
They smell really good. Yes, we made handmade soap with the mold and everything. And that was really fun. And with my son, one day I was out repairing some garden jewelry. And we took some beads and we strung them all together and we draped them around our rose bushes. And it sparkles in the sun, and it's just something totally different. You know, that take your mind off of everything and do something together with your kids. Like my son is always in his room. He's either doing school or talking to his friends like this. I'm like, no, you need to get some sun. You need to get out, get some fresh air.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter too, she's in her room doing her schoolwork as well. So it was just trying to get the kids out of their rooms and doing something fun. I'm also trying to put out some more or less beginner Tunisian crochet tutorials on my YouTube channel. And that way...
That's perfect.
Yeah, that way they can just learn something really easy and make a little cloth or something, and then branch out and make something bigger.
That's brilliant.
Something different.
I love that. I think that's a very good use of your time. And I know, Salena, you have the American Crochet Association, which I think is fantastic. So for people who are interested in, like, you know what, I love this craft, I love this art, I love this hobby, but you know, what are the next levels I can do? What are some stuff I can do with it? You know, then they have the ACA ready for them. So I want you to tell people a little bit about the ACA, and because I know that is a big part of what you do and how you learn to teach that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the American Crochet Association is an online school to help people better their crochet craft. It started out as just a 12-course learning path, and it's essentially like getting your associate's degree in crochet. And what I love about it is that, you know, it kind of, you know, the American Crochet Association didn't start as this online entity, this online school. You know, Ron and I, we used to work together for a magazine, and part of that magazine was helping people with different tips or tricks or, you know, how to approach certain patterns. And we were constantly trying to find tutorials or learning resources. And then after a while of doing that, we were like, you know, we could just have a platform that just teaches people everything that they would need to know so that they could approach how to do join as you go, or how to do color work, or how to, you know, choose yarn for their projects, or how to make a swatch, or all of these other kind of foundational things in crochet. And so that's why I started the American Crochet Association, was to be that baseline of education. Since we started, I have also put together a crochet instructor training program, and I put that together after not teaching people appropriately for about 5 years and really wanting to teach people how to crochet and failing a lot, and then, you know, kind of finding a process that worked really well for me that could teach people how to crochet. And so I really wanted to pass along that template so that if you do know how to crochet and you want to teach others, you know, I feel like, you know, the royal we, myself included, you know, there's a lot of things that we were doing wrong in the crochet world. Like, you want to learn to crochet, sit down with your thick, thin yarn that you chose, that your grandma gave you, and we're going to make a granny square today, right now. I don't care if it takes us 8 hours. So I feel like this particular template helps people from A to Z how to crochet. So what I find so magical about this particular time is that there are a lot of people who crochet, who want to better their skills, but also maybe want to pass that on. This is an opportunity right now that a lot of people are taking to not only better their skills, but they're saying, hey, this is a perfect opportunity for me to take these courses so that, you know, when this social distancing order has lifted, I can pass this on. Like, this is a great opportunity for me to gain this new information so I can pass it on. So that's something that I am finding really magical about this time, is that, the American Crochet Association community, they're putting so much more time into these courses. They're putting more time into their education, and they're pumped up about just kind of passing it on when we're out of lockdown. And so that's something I didn't expect. I didn't see that coming. It kind of unfolded on its own. And it makes me really proud for the crochet community that this could be, a lot of people joke about, hey, in 9 months, we're going to have a lot of, babies. This baby boomer thing is going to kind of happen. But I'm like, man, wouldn't that be great in the crochet world if after the lockdown, we would have all these newborn crocheters, who were learning maybe with more effective ways. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to, that I'm seeing now.
That's perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's a perfect segue to what my last question is going to be for the group. I want to know, when this is over, what is something you're looking forward to? And it can be crochet or knitting related or not, totally up to you. And I'll start. One of my number one things that I am excited about is joining my local knitting guild. As far as I know, I can't find a crochet guild around me. I don't know if I have the gumption to start my own yet, but I know that there's a knitting guild. And so I'm excited to go and do that, because I found it in January and I had missed the meeting when I found it. And then February was a loss, and then so on and so forth. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also very excited about my stitch along that I have going on with Yarnspriations. And last but not least, there is a new Michael's store just down the road for me that hasn't opened yet because of all of this. And I'm like at the open, right? So like, I'm super excited about that. So I guess, those are the things I'm very excited about, besides, being able just to leave the house. But those are the big ones for me. So I'm going to jump to Ron and ask you, what's something you're excited about?
Honestly, going home, like going to Michigan. My Nana is in her 70s, and so this entire time, our entire family has been like, stay your butt home. Yeah. Don't you dare go outside. We don't care if you want to go for a walk, Nana. You know what? No, don't.
We'll buy you a treadmill.
Yeah, very strict. But yeah, I really want to go home to, my mom lives in Indiana, in Fort Wayne, so we're going to go to Fort Wayne, and then I grew up in a really tiny town in Michigan no one knows the name of. So I want to go up there. It's like here for all my Michigan friends. It's reversed in the thing, but it's right here. And that's the big thing. And then I have a book that's supposed to be published in the fall, but we'll see. We'll see.
We're playing that by ear.
I did copy edits and send it in, and we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. It'll be there sometime.
Awesome.
It's done. It's written. So that's all that matters.
that's all that matters. Yeah. Ellen, I'm going to jump to you because on my screen, you're right next to Ron. So I'm going to go to you.
Well, like Ron, my stepdad is in a nursing home and I haven't seen him in 6 or 8 weeks now. I mean, they're not letting anybody in, which I'm grateful for, but it's also really hard to help him understand why nobody's visiting. So I'm going to go see him, and I'm going to just keep on looking forward to the future. I'm bumping up the YouTube channel. I missed some events that got canceled, some in-person teaching events I was supposed to teach at for the One Skein Crochet book, and I'm disappointed by that. So I'm hoping to get motivated again to find a way to either Zoom meeting these conferences that we missed, or reschedule or postpone them, So I had to cancel a trip to Colorado for Estes Park Wool Market. I was supposed to be out there in June, and that's already been canceled. So I need to find some motivation and excitement to bolster those classes even more, so that when they do happen, they'll be spectacular. So that's what I'd really like to put some creative energy into.
Absolutely. Robin, I'm going to jump to you because you're right underneath Ellen.
I can be, really silly, but I'm really looking forward to visiting you.
She wins. Just so everybody knows, she wins.
That's
You
fair.
stole my answer. No.
Y'all are welcome anytime you want.
But seriously, since Marley moved, she's super close to me now. Super close in that it's
And
just a 4-hour
it's
Put
drive.
me up
yeah.
on your way.
Right? We
Exactly.
could.
Yeah. Those things, like we have all sorts of plans, and getting to teach again, you know, with my students, because I teach locally here in Pittsburgh and I travel, and that's that teaching, that being hands-on with all those wonderful people, it just it does something, you know.
It does.
Ooh, and I miss it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I miss my family. Having Passover by myself was the most sad thing that we've had to do. I mean, we did it Zoom wise, but it stunk. So I miss them a lot, but I really, really, really am excited when this is all done and everyone's safe and we can be in person to teach. You and I can be in person.
Yes, that'll be lovely. That'll be very lovely. Carolyn, I'm going to go to you. You're right next to Robin.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, like you guys, I'm really excited to start teaching again, which, Marley, you're probably surprised, but I really did like it.
That's awesome.
And I had really good feedback, and the students were really, really nice. So I have 2 classes that were postponed, and I'm just looking forward to going back and rescheduling that. And also, my sister recently moved to Idaho, and I'm looking forward to going and see their new home and their new environment and checking it out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love how everybody's like, I want to go see family. And I'm like,
I
I want to go to Michael's. I'm like, is that bad?
Priorities.
I know. Salena, I'll go to you. You're right next to Carolyn on my screen.
Yeah, I mean, I love my family. I'd love to see my family, but I'm feeling a little bit like Marley in that I do miss. This sounds bad out loud.
I know.
I do miss like going to my local yarn store, and something that I just started right before, you know, this pandemic squashed everything, was a teaching program in my local yarn store. And I had this great group, and we were meeting every week, and then we'd go to like brunch afterwards. And I really missed that. It was such a great group, and I feel like that's really high on my priority list. It's my top 5 of things that I'm really looking forward to when we can be within 6 feet of people again. Yeah.
That's perfect. And Nadia, bring it home.
Like you guys, I'm waiting for the yarn stores to get open, definitely. But yeah, I do miss my family. I miss my dad filming for me. And I mean, on a personal note, I mean, Nasser is going to be 1 in June, and so I'm still hoping we can have a birthday party for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely missing the craft store, so.
I love it. I love that we've been able to talk about, you know, how we felt about ourselves and how it felt just in general in our world with all this, and how we're coping with it and what we're looking forward to. And I mean, yes, I'm looking forward to Michael's and all of the good things, but I am looking forward to seeing what wonderful things you guys have all up your sleeve, because I admire and respect all of you, not only as professionals, but as my friends. I know that you guys always bring your best no matter what is happening in the world. And I know that everybody who's watching this video is falling in love with you just as much as I am. And I hope that they will all go visit you, and you will have more patterns put out there using Yarnspriations yarn, and give all the love, and it'll all be good, because we're all going to get through this no matter what. And if you ever find yourself in need, don't hesitate to reach out to somebody on Facebook, somebody in my group, somebody in your Yarnspriations group, somebody on YouTube. We're all here. And so we're all here, and we want to say we love all of you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye, y'all. All right, guys. So that brings us to the end of the Stitch Together here on the Yarnspriations Facebook page. I want to thank every single one of my guests for being here today. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy, crazy day to join me for a Zoom meeting, just to chat together. It's always nice to come together and just say hello.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Marley.
Thank you, Marley.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. So Yarnspirations, I do want to say thank you to you for allowing me to bring in my friends and introduce other people to the community, and kind of see how we're all holding up together. I think that it's pretty fantastic. We appreciate every single one of you out there. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and let us know what you're doing to pass the time during your stay-at-home orders, or what are you most looking forward to? Maybe you have a Michael Sir opening close to you too. I'm super excited about it. All right, guys, that is it from us here at the Stitch Together, and we will talk to all of you again very soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.